everyone, my name is Courtney and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be discussing my September TBR, and specifically this month I'm going to be participating in the Magical Readathon, so I thought I would discuss what I'm going to be reading. So today is actually the first day of the Magical Readathon, so what better day to discuss what I'm planning on reading, although I don't know when I'll get this video edited and out, but you know. But if you don't know what the Magical Readathon is, it's this really intricate, really fun readathon that is put on by Book Roast. I will leave a comment to her channel down below so you can find it. A couple times a year we do this Magical Readathon where we have a list of prompts to fulfill based on our character and what their career path is. My character is Mira Blackburn. She is a blacksmith, and so she's working towards the career of craft mage, and so I have 5 prompts to fulfill for that. So let's discuss the prompts and what I'm going to be reading for them. So I have 5 prompts to complete, 3 for one course and 2 for another. For inscription I have to complete 2 prompts, which would be I have to read a book with the same color as my birth month. I am a January birthday, so that would be Garnet. And then I have to read a book with a non-human character. And then for my second class, my prompts are I have to complete a book that has all the letters of my first name, which with somebody with a U in their name is very challenging, I'll tell you. The second prompt is to spin a wheel and get a color. You have to read a book with that color in the cover. I actually spun the wheel when I was listening to the prompts just so I could get it out of the way. And you know I'm not lying because I got orange, so that's a hard color. And the third prompt for my artificery career, I have to take a book that I gave 5 stars recently and look in the acknowledgements and find an author and basically read a book based on like their connection in the acknowledgements to another author that I've enjoyed. Hope that made sense. So those are the prompts, so let's get into how I'm fulfilling them. For my birthstone, I picked the Jasmine Throne by Tasha Suri. She's wearing a red dress. I got a red spine. The actual book inside is red. The big thing for me about these prompts is that I have a 20-ish book TBR right now, so I want to stick to what I own and try and find things that I own to read. So there might be a little bit of adjusting, a little bit of squeaking by with the prompts, but it is all to fulfill what I have on my shelf. So the Jasmine Throne, I feel like fits that pretty nicely. It's a adult fantasy. I believe it is female-female romance. It's either like a guard and a princess or like a maid and a princess, something like that. All I know is that I've heard great things about it. I want to read it because I want to read basically every sapphic sci-fi fantasy, so there you go. For the next prompt of a non-human character, I have The Last Hero by Lyndon A. Lewis. This is the last book in the First Sister trilogy, so I've been meaning to get to this. This is adult sci-fi, and I really enjoy this series. It's a distant future world. There are basically 2 factions of humans. One is very military technology based, while the other, still military, is also very religiously based, and they're clashing against each other, vying for power. But it's not just humans, there's AI, there's non-human beings, there's aliens, I believe. I don't think they've come into the thing yet, but there's non-human characters, and I believe that there will be a non-human POV in this one. I'm guessing that based on what I read in the first book, but I'm really excited to finish out this trilogy because I have really enjoyed it. And so yeah, this is going to be one of my reads. So going into my other class for my 3 prompts, I have to read a book with the letters in my first name. So obviously with an 8-letter name with a U in it, I had to pick something that had a very long title. So I picked Can't Spell Treason Without T, which I've already started today and read about 80 pages of. But this is a cozy fantasy, and so far I would say it's like basically the fantasy version of U-Haul lesbians that decide that they need to escape their responsibilities and their duties and just like open up a tea bookshop together. So yeah, I will be continuing with this and I can't wait to discuss it. And then the next prompt, which was the color wheel prompt, I had a book with orange, if you remember, and for that I picked A Liaison with Her Leading Lady. This is a Harlequin novel. Yes, Harlequin does print gay romance novels. I know it doesn't happen that often, but they do it. And this book is orange, part of their historical fiction collection. Basically, if you don't know, Harlequin releases like 6 to 10 books under their different branches every month. They have like a contemporary one, they have like a religious one, and they have a historical one that most of the time is Regency, but does include everything up to the 1950s. And so this is a Regency, I believe. All I know, it's gay. I want to read it. There you go. And for my final prompt, which if you remember is the one where I had to look at the acknowledgements and try and find an author. Like I said, I'm reading from a very limited stack of books. I really want to keep it to things I already own. It's that time of the year where I just want to try and get my TBR pile down as much as possible before the end of the year. But one of the things that was added this time around is that basically we've been earning points this whole time for completing different prompts and challenges, and so we can use our points now for a variety of different little magical objects, some of them which will help us along our journey. So one of the magical items that you can buy is basically to switch your prompt with another prompt, and so I'm going to be using 10 points to do that. I have 410 points, so I'm not really worried about doing that, because when I was listening to the prompts I accidentally mixed up my prompts, so I thought this was one of my prompts, so I'm happy to just switch it back. So the prompt I thought I had was to read a book with a number in the title, so I'm going to be switching that with my acknowledgements prompt, and for that I am cheating just a tiny bit, which is to read Yona the Dawn volume 42. So see, it has a number in it. Volume 42. Basically I knew I was reading some big fantasy books, some big sci-fi books, so I needed a break. Maybe there's a prompt that would fit this better, but hey, it fits to me, it has a number in it, so that's fine. These are the 5 books that I'm planning on reading this month for the readathon. Surprisingly, most of the books that I have to read are going to be physical form. I read a lot at work through audiobook, which I'm hoping that my audiobook of this will come in. I keep getting this audiobook and I've actually been deferring it a couple times because I've been reading other stuff, so now is the time for the audiobook to come back into my possession so I can finally read it at work. Like, these are the 5 books that I'm really going to be focusing on, but I will be dipping into the rest of my TBR pile as well. But these are the for sure reads that I'm planning on picking up this month. So if you're participating in this readathon, let me know what you're reading. I'd love to know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys later, and happy reading!